Guys, I hope this comes through. I'm trying to experiment with linking this thing through Wi-Fi with my Starlink. So as you come into the chat room, let me know how you hear or see me. Guys, we are in a crazy situation right now with the current POTUS President Taterhead. He is he's made some pardons, and he's talking about making more pardons, and some of these pardons are just downright unpardonable. He swore repeatedly that he would not, of course, pardon his son. And what, of course, did he do? What most of us really expected he would do, right? Everybody really thought he would do that. Who didn't think that he would do that? Hope y'all were hearing me. Okay, 5 of 5, good. Let me know how this video proceeds, guys, because like I said, I am going through my Starlink right now as a Wi-Fi link. So let me know how this, if you have any problems with this. So, guys, this is nuts in that, a lot of his excuses for this pardon had to do with challenging the people that tried and found him guilty, the judges, and a lot of them took great offense to this because one of these was a California tax evasion charge, and the other was a charge of, a related to nuds. Let's just say it that way. You take that word and flip it around if you know what I mean. But clearly he did commit crimes, and so usually when somebody's pardoned, a lot of times it's because the charges were so long ago, or the person has made dramatic changes in their life, or they've just a lot of different reasons, and none of those seem to be applicable on this occasion. And the judges involved really challenged what was brought by. One of them was the California, the other was by Biden's own Department of Justice. So how is it that he's claiming that these were political and they were singled out just because it was his son? A lot of people are really questioning that stuff. Good to see you, Rodney, Nicholas, Judy. How you doing? Annie. We don't have a lot of people in the chat room right now. So, guys, this is highly suspicious. And the crazy thing is he didn't just pardon him for those crimes. No. He pardoned him for everything he might have done, did do, or might have done for a period of 11 years. Ooh, and what does this include? Does this not include when he was on the board of directors of Burisma? Oh, yeah. So, isn't that really strange? Oh, and the way to hear some of the people that he might pardon. Oh, my gosh, guys. One in particular really frosted my cake. So, in any event, guys, clearly this is a lot more than the charges put against him. Maybe this was his own attempt to protect himself. This whole Burisma stuff. You remember, what was Trump impeached for originally? Asking questions related to what? The Burisma thing? Ukraine? Jeez. But this says a lot. And furthermore, now Biden is talking about preemptively pardoning people that Trump may go after. Is that not interesting? Preemptively pardoning people. And one of the names floated is a certain Dr., shall we say, Ouchie. At least his name rhymes with Ouchie, if you know who I'm talking about. A little mousy looking man. Holy smoke, guys. I don't know, guys. What do y'all think? This is highly suspicious. And, the NIH, we're finding money went from where to where. And now the Congress has come out and said that that went around, that came from a laboratory. Where? Well, I don't know, guys, but it rhymes with Wuhan. Oh my gosh, guys. Oh my gosh. And all this was determined to be not true. False information, misinformation by the Ministry of Truth. Oh yeah. And so therein lies the whole dilemma of the deep state that Trump's going after, this Ministry of Truth. This, collusion between the government and media. And now it's also come out that the main media organization that was going after Trump during his first impeachment was principally funded by who? The Department of Justice, Department of State, our own federal government. So we're pumping federal money into political witch hunts? And you think that that's pardonable? Well, apparently somebody does. Maybe Kitty Cat here seems to think so. Meow to that. I don't know, guys. I just don't know. It's you know, this isn't just the United States. The whole world is beset by this. Well, the West is beset by the House of Klaus and that kind of thinking, by the thinking of people along those lines. And so, highly disturbing. This is why the people in America voted to put Trump in. This is why the people in Argentina voted to put Milei in. This is why a lot of other people in a lot of other countries ought to think hard about what they can do to change the establishment within their own countries. You know, France has got a lot of resistance to macaroni. And Lord, my friends up north, how much longer can y'all handle Trudeau? Holy smoke, Trudeau, he got to go. Hey, Michelle Young is in the house. Yay. All right, fantastic. Good to see you, Jason Smith. All right, folks. So this is, we got a lot we're going to be dealing with here coming up. There's turmoil coming, guys, because what happened, a lot of people suspect that what happened to JFK had to do with him taking on the deep state. You know, he basically made a speech in which he talked about their troubles. He issued these silver certificates and a lot of things that they weren't fond of. So that's what a lot of people think things happen. And it's odd that this has remained classified up to this date. Some of the things from the Warren Commission, some of the things from the investigation have been classified as of yet. So what's going on here, guys? It's really strange. So 1:30, yeah, Raspberry, it takes me a while to put together something to talk about. And I do work, and I got to get up early in the morning, so we're not going to be too awful long in here tonight. And I'm coming to you from my little red van called Cherry, a little 2003 beat-up town and country. On my property in the vicinity somewhere within 100 miles of Snowflake, Arizona. If you know what I mean. So, yeah, this is basically a Mars base I'm at. That's what it looks like. Big broccoli farm, if y'all have seen the videos on that. So, giant broccoli. Anyway, oh my beard and everything's kind of a mess here today. So, guys, the deep state is not going to go out quietly. And here's another thing. Even though we have Republican majorities in all the houses, that doesn't mean it's a shoo-in that the kind of changes a lot of people are looking for are going to come. What the people voted for was to get rid of this onerous deep state. That's what they were really looking for. But it's not going to go easy because a lot of Republicans are on the take of a lot of these establishments. Even Alabama Senator Tuberville was challenging this, what's his name, Hegseth, is the head of the Department of Defense. And I really think if you're in Alabama, you ought to contact Tuberville and Tommy Tuberville and say, hey, support him. Support him. And, you know, and the news media is rolling out all kind of accusations against all these appointees and just all kind of bogus boulder dash, as Colonel Potter from MASH used to call it, you know, for lack of, you know, for use of more balloons to come. Yeah, easily, I wouldn't be surprised. And right now, you know, maybe we should talk about these drones over the U.S. military bases. There's just some really weird stuff going on, guys, as we're heading toward, as you know, this whole World War III we're in deepens. So hopefully Trump can take an effect on that. I don't know, guys. So in any event, guys, this whole mess with these pardons is just the tip of the iceberg. We're going to see a lot of the left-leaning groups in the country who aren't happy with the outcome probably protest and start doing all kind of things. We can expect, we're not out of the woods for Civil War. Civil War is not something you want, but it might be something we get whether we want it or not. I've never been a fan of war, even though I'm a veteran, very much so. And I do believe in peace through strength, but I also believe we're pretty darn strong in this country. Who in the heck would invade us if ever American had a nug? Why do we even need this ginormous DOD? And now see, that's where Tommy Tuberville is not so fond of hedge stuff. So, yeah, there needs to be cuts. There needs to be dramatic cuts in every department of the government. There needs to be ginormous cuts. Now, Jeff Bezos and some of his budgets, well, we can get out of debt by growing the economy. That's true, but our fundamentals are so weak because the government is so big and strangling us so much, and all these agencies. See, here's the thing: we have created a royalty in the governmental agencies because they get to come up with rules and be the judge and jury and executioner, basically, of regular everyday American citizens who disobey their rules. And they've set themselves up to be above the law, and pardons from President Potato pardons aren't helping the situation whatsoever. So we have to be vigilant against these things. I got people coming here from other countries, like Ace Lee, who's been in Huntsville, by the way, which I was from, not there now, but still working with companies associated with Huntsville. So Elon hints at one policy nation, small countries like Singapore might go extinct. Elon hints as a one policy nation, small. What does the United States have to do with other countries like that? We need to get out of minding other countries' business. That's what I really think. We're just too heavy into minding everybody else's business and not doing a good job of minding our own business here at home. We need to get things fixed here at home first. Hey Tim, how you doing? And one of the big fixes is to get rid of this choking, suffering government. So see, that's where Bezos is trying. Some of his ilk are trying to support, keeping the government going and using this growth excuse. Look, the best way to grow is to shut down, while the government shut down the onerous taxes, the regulations, and free enterprise to do what it can do best instead of the crony capitalism that we've got today, where the government's in bed with certain big time contractors and really sidetracking real market forces. So that's what needs to be ended. That needs where the government picks the winners. That's not the way it should be. Where the government, the heads of agencies, the regulators, when they retire, go to the companies they regulate. So they're not going to be hard on the regulated companies. In fact, they are the regulated companies' biggest promoters, and because that's where they've been when they retire. So one of the things that Trump's talking about is ending that, stopping that revolving door between the companies and the agencies. That's something I've said a long time ago needed to be done, and Trump's now talking about doing that. Yay, that's a good thing. There's going to be tons of resistance here, guys. Let's hope Trump survives his entire term, and whether he does or does not, this movement needs to stay steadfast and go in the direction that we're trying to head in. It's going to be a rocky road. A lot of people are going to fuss, if we put tariffs on, it increases prices in one area, but it's going to be dropping taxes in another. You're going to be spending the same amount of money irregardless. The question is, do you spend it in consumption, or do you spend it directly taking out your taxes involuntarily? Because when you spend money, you voluntarily spend it. That's a very different thing than somebody taking money from you involuntarily. And I think that's got to stop. Furthermore, when you buy cheap junk from China, you're doing nothing but building their military. That is how they have built their military to a world-class military, is from all the cheap junk we bought from them. And who do? They're bullying everybody, all their neighbors. Now they're bullying Europe too by working in collusion with Russia by cutting cables and things underseas. So, guys, this at least that's what it looks like. So, Are they your friend? Another China. You know, this is not anti-Chinese. There's another China, and that's Taiwan, the Republic of China, the original government of China before the Red Revolution mail run them out to Taiwan, to the island of Formosa. So I read between the lines, everything. There you go, traveler. Caracas, martial law coming to America. It could. You know, one thing that, you know, I wouldn't put it past the state that's so deep to get us into full-blown World War III, to declare martial law to prevent the rise of power of those that want to take them out of power. I mean, they would stop at almost nothing, because their agenda of globalism, their agenda of following what was put out there by the likes of House of Klaus, if you know what I'm talking about, is where they want to go. They want a world in which you own nothing, have no privacy, but yet you're happy, right? Because you're dumbed down so much that anything will make you just happy. I'm just happy. Oh yeah, right. You know, go to the socialist countries and show me the index of happiness. How come everybody's trying to exit them? How come everybody's trying to get out? How come they're all heck holes? And the same with states like that here in America, and cities like that here in America. Now, I mentioned Huntsville, Alabama. I used to live, had been there. He told me once upon a time. Guess what, guys? Canada's a new state. Yeah, do we really want Canada as a state in the United States? That's one more state to vote blue. Unless Canada can switch its colors, I don't know. Of course, it'd be good for the Canadians, probably. It'd probably be a boon for them. But, you know, he was picking on Trudeau. And I think he did so very effectively. That's one thing about Trump. He negotiates and knows how to pick on people, and he don't pull no punches. So that's one of the beauties of him. He's not all in this political correct, you know, junk, guys. So speaking of which, you know, one of our other fellow YouTubers who talks preparedness quite a bit, and I listen to him a fair bit, Full Spectrum Survival with Brad. He made a question. I can't understand why Boeing was having all these problems all at once. How come all the planes were falling out of the sky and things ripping? He was thinking it was all sabotage. No. Come on, Brad, you know better than that. It's the way the companies are being run now. It's what they promote. You know, when you promote people and you hire people on basis other than their technical qualifications, which should know no color. Technical qualifications are technical qualifications. If we're having a problem that one group has more than the other, then we need to encourage people in the other worlds, the other communities that you want to promote, to get more student in these areas, not to just go in. I mean, engineering's engineering. I mean, 2 + 2 = 4 every day of the world. When you get somebody that don't know that, and yet you put them to be responsible for design or safety, quality assurance, and they're not up to the top qualifications, what do you get? Planes fall out of the sky. And people do die. That is the cost of that kind of policy. It's disastrous. Go woke, go broke. Bye-bye, Boeing. Boeing don't wake up and set their course right. They're in serious trouble. They're laying people off right now, even after having given this union the enormous biggest pay raise ever. How do you demand such a thing when a company is choking and strangling and the quality of their workmanship is gone to heck in a handbasket? Who wants to fly Boeing these days, right? They can't even, you know, they sent 2 astronauts to the International Space Station and they're stranded after working on a capsule that they worked on for 4 times longer than SpaceX and spent probably 4 times as much money, and the darn thing don't work. You know, come on, Boeing. You're a failure as a company. You got a lot of good people. I know a lot of good people that work for Boeing. I've got a lot of friends. I've worked with a lot of these people. But the whole corporate culture, you know, it was set up to be a good corporate culture. They excelled for quite a while. But, you know, suddenly when excellence isn't your top priority in picking people, you're no longer excellent. I'd say the moniker for Boeing is excellence in the optimization of engineering mediocrity. Yeah. Excelling in the optimization. Let's reword it. Excelling in the optimization of engineering mediocrity. There. Sorry, Bowen. Fall like he's going to fall. Oh, who's going to fall there? Oh, ISS. Well, ISS, well, you know, actually the biggest problem with ISS right now is the Russian segments are leaking a lot of gas. They weren't built to the same standards apparently, but you know, hey, ISS was only designed for 10 years. Design criteria for life of ISS is 10 years. Now, I would say Boeing, of course, was the integrator of ISS. It could have been better. Could have left it with Grumman. But they chose not to for strange, nefarious reasons that I could go into later. But that's more of a topic for Galactic Gregs. By the way, my channel, Galactic Gregs, got demonetized. Not for anything I said, because I just wasn't getting to watching the views that normally. Now, there's criteria for channels to get monetized, to get a certain number of views, but I've never heard that the criteria you had to maintain a certain level to stay monetized. That's news. That's news to me. So that's that was my second channel getting to get monetized before this one, even. So I may have to go back and work on some space content in the not too distant future. Maybe I can use your support to get that channel back in good grace. But yeah. Galactic Gregs is demonetized. Can you believe it? Wow. The most, I don't talk any political stuff over there, just space. And yet it got demonetized. Yeah. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And I got some videos that get a lot of views over there, but just wasn't enough for them. Anyway, I had never heard of that. And all the videos I've watched about how to do YouTube, what it takes to get qualified, and stuff like that, all the big communities supporting that stuff, I never heard them talk about that. So, yeah. Of course, I worry about getting taken completely down because they all go through the same AdSense account. They could take all three of my channels down, I've discovered. And I thought when I created this channel that I was isolating my other channels, but not really. It's all at risk. But, you know, the truth coming out and the change in administration, maybe things won't be as bad in that regard as it was. There'll be pressures to keep things different. As we now know, it's come out that the government was funding these companies directly to squelch the freedom of speech, which we're not supposed to do. And a lot of it had to do with aiding campaigns. Let's go back and look at this. What was this? If you know, I've got people, you know, I post stuff on Facebook. And there's a lot of people in there, oh, well, you should only listen to the scientists and authoritarians and this, that, and the other who blah, 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 blah on things. Well, my whole thing on climate comes from two of the best climatologists in the world. The guys who actually monitor the satellite data for UAH. University of Alabama in Huntsville. The actual data monitoring scientists. Roy Spencer and John Christie, Doctors Roy Spencer and Dr. John Christie. They are scientists, and they do not go along with the flow. So don't act like it's universal. And unlike Gorey said, well, if they don't agree with this, then they're on the payroll of the oil companies. No, they're not. Not by any stretch of the imagination. So, guys, there's just a lot of hooey out there. Oh yeah, I want to thank Michelle and also Kim Possible, because I did see where they sent me money through my PayPal links in the previous video. So salute to them for that super chat over. I think it was a Galactic Gregs video. So I just want to recognize that. But guys, we've got we may have, like I said, we may be in the World War III may just occur just to keep things as they are, to keep somebody from ascending power and cleaning house, draining the swamp. If that don't happen, we may see other civil discourse here in the United States. So just be ready, be prepared, guys. Get ready for things to happen. That's all I can say. Hey, Michelle, thank you. Salute, Michelle, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Um, anyway, guys, yeah, I've not been on here much of late. It turns out, though, that, believe it or not, my smallest uh, percentage program is with Defy the Grid for, like gold backs and stuff like that. Would you believe that's the one that gets me the most of all the other affiliates I got? Because people are really going for those. Check it out. If you go to Defy the Grid, just put in the code Green Grids. It's a coupon code. Anyway, yeah, that's real popular. I need to probably talk that more, but I've listed this as a video for no ads, so I'm not going to go into anything. I'm not going to show any content in it really. Just a mention. But let's look at this, guys. The economy going the way it is. Yeah, I totally get it. I totally understand. So, oh, you're going to send me a package? Okay, Judy. Yeah, email me. I'll send you an address to send stuff to. Because I'm out here in Arizona now, and this is my home now. Arizona's my home. I've got to change my driver's license and all that stuff, and declare it. Declare myself a resident. I haven't quite done that yet. But this is my home. I sold my house in Alabama, and I kind of got gypped. That's another thing. It was a low ball offer, and then they kind of pulled me a little fast on me, and I didn't realize until after the fact. But anyway, I'm done with that. So I got still a few vehicles, my trailer loaded up with some of my stuff out there to get here. I still got one more tractor to get here that's at the mechanic shop still. But good news is, my tiny home I'm building is all the siding's up. We got another window in it, so we're heading somewhere. It needs a door to be totally closed. I got a little makeshift door just to keep the dogs out. And I made coffee today for the first time in my tiny home. So got coffee, and that means I can stay up a little better, because I've been living on caffeine for a long time, guys. And I'm not only sleep deprived, but lately I've been caffeine deprived too. So coffee keeps me perking. So that's kind of where we're at. So we got 25 thumbs up and 40 in the house, guys. I could use we need all the help we can get over here. Now, I could have done this on Green Greg's, but I'm trying to move political content away from that channel. I'm not done this much lately because it's the only channel that really gets a lot of views. So I've been putting more content on there, including some rescue stuff. I've been talking to war news. Eventually, I plan to bring all that stuff over here. Maybe turn Green Greg's back into a gardening channel, or at least a homesteading type channel. Because that's what I'm doing out here in the middle of nowhere. Is I'm homesteading the desert. Unknown Vector, how you doing? Halo. Halo, how altitude left off. That was my rocket launching my balloon program. Oh, the raccoon. Halo, hang a rocket from a balloon and off we go. That's a good one for Galactic Gregs, right? So, yeah, we need to put some video content over there and get people watching that channel. So, yeah, check out my Galactic Gregs channel. Let's get some more views over there if y'all go over there, help that channel and get back into graces. I have to reapply. It's not automatically get the views back, but I have to totally reapply to be monetized again. It's like, wow. Anyway, I ain't got time to deal with that at the moment. I'm busy, guys. I'm working, living out of a van. I'm trying to get my other van, the white van, I call it Candy, fixed. She's had a water pump put on. She had a leak. I got the radiator flushed out. Now I think I got a short in the system somewhere. Maybe from rats gnawing on wires. I don't know. Am I on the watch list? Could be. Who knows? Aren't we all? if you're not just totally woke, you probably are. Especially if you talk. And I do talk, and I get on here and make videos. So I don't know. But not so much that it keeps me from doing defense work. So I'm still able to do aerospace work. They're not knocked me out of that yet, and they shouldn't, because I'm not a threat in that regard. Did I serve with you in Nam? Eric, I was a little too young for Nam. I went in the Army at the age of 19 in 1979. So I missed Nam. I'm 64. My older brother, who passed away, was in the military in that period. He didn't go to Nam, but he was in that area. He could have spent some, but he didn't go. He did actually volunteer. He joined the army, as I did. My oldest brother never was in the military, but my family's got, well, my older brother and I figured out every single war in American history, every single one, we've had a family member in. So we've been there, mainly Army. Air Force too. I've got some uncles who served in the Air Force and Mom. So yeah, we've been there. Cali Prepper, how you doing? Good to see you. Greg, yeah, that's it. P.O. Box 237 in Snowflake, Arizona. And the zip code is 85937. Last in the post office box. So you're right, Rodney. So there you go, Judy. That's really it. P.O. Box 237, Snowflake, Arizona. And that's 85937 is the zip. And I do have another address that might be better for receiving packages. Some people want to send packages to post office. I do have another address too. It's not where I'm at. It's up in Show Low, Arizona. So there you go. Lots of launch area in Arizona. Oh yeah, we could do some rockets. Absolutely. Yeah, there's a lot more. The lands out here are a lot more vacant. Far fewer people, at least in this part of the state. Now you go down to Phoenix, and oh my God, it's a megapolis down there. But up here is nothing of the sort. It's very convenient up here. It's so convenient. The nearest store is just 9 miles away. I got to drive 20.2 miles to get to the nearest grocery store. And so that's there's actually a grocery store and a Walmart right across the street from each other. They're both grocery stores. And I just changed my pharmacy to that Walmart. So there you go, guys. Isn't that convenient? Just 9 miles away, the nearest store. 22 miles. How far you were from the nearest store? Now, Rodney, you're in the outback, aren't you? You kind of know what I'm talking about. Hey, Unknown Vector, the writer Robert Anton Wilson wrote about the L5 Society in his book. Yes, I was a big-time member of the L5 Society, guys. Robert Anton, what was the name of his book? Yeah, maybe I have to write something about that. Yeah, I started the Cumberland L5 Society chapter in the Carolinas. I started the North Star L5 Society in Alaska, and the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society, from which we started our high altitude liftoff program, which spun off and later into a company called the High Altitude Research Corporation. And we also chaired 2 international space development conferences from the Huntsville, Alabama L5 Society, one of which I chaired myself. I was president of HAL5 for 21, 22 years. The organization is 30 years old, so go figure. Well, it started in 1983. It's 31 years old. So, and it's still surviving. Without me at the helm, believe it or not. He wrote the Illuminatus Trilogy, Illuminati Papers. What? Oh my gosh. Well, we want to develop space. Not an Illuminati. Not Illuminati. There was quite a different cast of characters on that organization. They pulled together a lot of odd birds. Anyway, guys, so I don't know. Robert Anton Wilson. Oh my God. Prometheus Rising. So what book did he talk about the L5 Society? And what did he say about it? I'm just kind of curious. There were people of different political persuasions in the L5 Society. A lot of libertarians. At the time, I was more Republican, but a little bit. I was a libertarian-leaning Republican in those days. Big fan of Ronnie Reagan. So he was pretty much a good sci-fi writer mixed in sci-fi fat with fiction. There's a lot of writers like that. So I'm not really a reader of science fiction. Not really. Not really a big fan of it. I've read some. But it wasn't my thing. I was more into history and frontiers, and that's been my cup of tea more than anything else. You know, I like things like, you know, if I was to go to a movie when I was a kid, I liked Jeremiah Johnson, for example, or the movie My Side of the Mountain. You know, the kid went out and lived in the Catskill Mountains in a big hollow tree. When I was a kid, I liked that. You know, those are the things I always gravitate to. Mountain men. I always liked mountain men. That was my favorite cast of characters. But, you know, people that explored, frontiersmen, explorers. And space to me was just an extension of exploring and settling new frontiers. So I'm a little different cut than a lot of people. Spencer's Mountain was my favorite. Okay, very good. He wrote a series of books called Cosmic Trigger, where he mentioned L5 Society and future space travel. Okay. You have the look of the old mountain men. Well, there you go. Thank you, Rodney. Yeah, at one time, when I was in high school, I was planning to build a raft and go down the Tennessee River and catch a train and go up to the CN Railroad and hobo my way into British Columbia and go carve me out a place up in the mountains in British Columbia. I had a ginormous wall map of British Columbia. I was trying to pick the places to go to. And I was always a fan of Alaska, too. And so when I went in the Army, I had it on my dream sheet. And sure enough, they sent me to Alaska. You know, I had to pick a so-called foreign duty station. And Alaska was listed among the foreign duty stations. Oh, it's definitely not foreign. But that's where they sent me. And I went to Fort Greely, Alaska, 100 miles from the nearest red light. Show the knife. And, oh, yeah, I got some great knives from Rodney, but I don't have them on me right now. I do have my K-bar knife in my backpack over there. Rodney's knives are in I got them in a nice little box, and I got them put in storage right now. They're all be coming out soon enough, though. Pretty soon after getting the house moved into here, tiny home. Drums Along the Mohawk, that sounds good. Yeah, I love the old Indian movies, frontier movies, you know, when we were first settling Appalachia area, when they moved into the West. I always liked the kind of stuff. Explorers, Lewis and Clark, all the explorers. I really was a fan of explorers. So that's been my, you know, Daniel Boone and such. Of course, you know, maybe David Crockett wasn't so much of an explorer, but he was an explorer. He was a frontiersman, definitely. So I've always liked frontiersmen. Do you still believe we went to the moon? I know we went to the moon. I know Buzz Aldrin. I knew the guys that developed the rocket. And I know how that Saturn V was put together. And it definitely was absolutely capable of doing the job. So not only that, but I had a hand in the rocket that we sent a capsule back around the moon myself, which is the SLS. Now, is it the best rocket in the world? I don't think it compares to what Elon's trying to do, but it did the job, and it did it on the first launch. And that's what NASA, you pay for when you spend so very much money on NASA, but I think Elon's probably got a better pathway, although this whole thing of having to launch 11 missions or so many just to get one thing landed on the moon is kind of strange. So I don't know, I think they need to work on that some more. More proof out there about the BS. Well, Robert, kiss my grits. That's all I got to say. It ain't BS. And if you think the earth is flat, I got a word for you. Just go look at a sunset or a sunrise and tell me how on a flat earth the sun can illuminate the bottom side of clouds. It cannot. The earth is a sphere. Point blank, case closed. There is no vault of bricks over the earth. God is far bigger than that. You people that want to put a puny God over a little bitty earth just do not do justice to the greater creator. And if that makes you mad, then bye. Kiss my grits and get the heck out of Dodge. You know, I like frontiers, and space is a frontier, and it's part of what I like. So I'm just going to tell you, we went to the moon. I know the guys that built this stuff, and a lot of these guys out there talking crap don't know what they're talking about. You know, they say, oh, well, how did you have the camera? Well, there was this attachment mechanism on the lunar lander that had the camera. It come out of the module, and that's documented from the get-go. And, you know, just all that crap. I've heard so much people just blah, 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 blah. They don't know what they're talking about. They just flat don't know what. We got to put laser reflectors on the moon, which shine laser beams back, you reflect laser light to the earth to this day more than land. There's your proof right there. We went to the moon. So just kiss my grits if you can't buy into that. You flat earthers, you're nuts. I can prove the earth's a sphere almost twice a day. Anytime the sun's setting and you got clouds, yeah, bang. Because a flat earth, it would have, the clouds are, earth would be here, the clouds are there, and the sun would have to be higher going around and around. There's no way the sun can suddenly shine underneath the clouds at sunsets and sunrises if the earth is flat. And I assume that's where you're coming from. You're probably a part of that crowd. So kiss my grits if you think that. And the Van Allen radiation belt is just that. It's a belt. It's stronger at the equator. And you can go fly around it. And also, exposure time is a key thing. There's a lot of stuff that's said about that. It's just pure bunk. So kiss my grits. I've talked to Van Allen. He's dead now. But I actually spoke to the guy who discovered the Van Allen radiation belts. Had a good conversation with him because one of the things he did was he built rockets and flew them from balloons like I did later. So I had some camaraderie with Dr. Van Allen, although he was against human spaceflight actually, but he never said it didn't happen. And if we didn't do it, all the other countries that was competing with us and trying to throw shade at us would have called it out. And there's, some people think NASA runs everything in space. No, they don't, not by a long stretch of the imagination. There's many other agencies and amateur groups from all around the world that are involved in space. They have nothing to do with NASA, as did my Halo program. It was an amateur, started out as an amateur organization. So give it a break, guys. Oh, Michelle, there's tons of these people. They're out there. Because they've been convinced that this is the way it is, because they've heard somebody say a bunch of stuff. Oh, that sounds right. That's yeah. You get people out there talking nonsense. They talk nonsense enough. They can make it sound good. The only problem is they don't have all the facts, and they got an agenda, and it's just pure BS. And some people are, well, you can't believe in God if you believe it. That's bull. And then another thing, Wernher von Braun was a Christian. My mentor at NASA, I wasn't at NASA, I was always a contractor, but he was a former NASA guy, was George McKay III. And he was a church deacon in a Baptist church up in Tennessee, and very devout Christian. A lot of these people that worked on the Saturn V were from Alabama, and Alabama's a very Christian state. And if you doubt that, if you don't understand that, then you really just don't understand jack diddle about anything. A lot of these people were Christian people. And so I hear a lot of nonsense said about these people and about things like that. I know better. I've been there, did it, lived it, knew the people. I just tell them to fly in a plane and look down. Man, no kidding. You fly across the Atlantic or the Pacific, you're high enough you can see the curvature of the earth. Holy smoking. Anyway, good grief. Knuckle nuts. So, turtles all the way down. Yeah, how far down? That's infinite, right? You just got to keep having turtles. But what feeds in the water is those turtles, I guess eating the fish, it spills over the edge or out the water, but what replenishes the water, Gosh, guys. Turtles all the way down. Oh, I know, they are just repeating something. Yeah. Well, well, I'm smart. I know the truth. This is a different answer. Everybody else is still blah, 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 blah. Yeah, guys, I am not a government. I'm not, you should know that. I'm not a fan of a lot of these things they're trying to oppress us. And conspiracies exist because I myself have been a conspiracy practitioner. When I was in the National Space Society, I pulled a few myself. So the idea, there can't be no such thing as conspiracy. Give me a break. Come on, guys. But anyway, not everything you hear, even from people that, think, alternate or contrarian to the mainstream is right either. The mainstream is trying to take us down the drain. But, I think they plant a lot of this stuff and put it in people's heads to make them look stupid so they can point out, look, he must be a flat earther, and discredit. So we have to watch that. We have to watch that carefully in our community, not to fall into a trap that discredits our movement of freedom. Our purpose is freedom. Our purpose is not to be oppressed by those agencies who want to be the kingmakers, who want to be the royalty, unelected, to make rules and then to be able to jail you for defying the rules that they make, which is not passed through Congress, which is not passed through elected individuals. So we need to not fall into their traps, guys. Guess I better make you some homemade tummies for your bus. Thank you, Judy. So, guys, there's just a lot of craziness out there, and we have to be careful because, in our own community, we've got a lot of people who have been legitimately led down the path of some of these ideas that not all are true. And it's largely done to discredit our whole community. And I get this from some of your so-called faces. Oh, you must be a fat earther. No, I'm not. Oh, you're one of those. You're one of these. No, you don't know jack diddle. So, they want to throw dispersions. And so this gives them room to throw dispersions. I think they created this themselves just to do that. Cookies and fudge, pecans. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my God. I love pecans. Fudge, cookies. All right, Judy, you're making my mouth water. Basically, I don't think we will be around when they finally open those files on Jeff Kennedy. Well, who knows? Maybe Trump will do it this time. He threatened to, and then he backed down last time. Maybe he will this time. Maybe he will. There's some stuff we'd like to see. But see, here's the thing. And I heard, what's his name over Nick's News Network? What's that guy's name? I might get demonetized for mentioning the network, but they get him demonetized. But, he said what I've already said. I've already said this over on the Green Grades, that it may be fortunate for us that Trump actually lost the last, or they got not put in office last election, that there was this period of time in between, because the way they attacked him, this made him more resolute to clean the swamp, to drain the swamp. And now look at who he's appointing as his department heads. People that would be dedicated to cleaning the swamp, unlike ever before. Now, they're not all perfect. I think one of them, he had nominated, don't like our freedom to bear nugs. So, there's a lot of work to be done here, guys. We're not done. We're never done. Freedom requires eternal vigilance to maintain. Eternal vigilance. Our founding fathers here in the United States knew that. They told us that. And a lot of people forget that now. Of course, our founding fathers would be arrested if they were suddenly materialized today and put on the street. The deep state would arrest them all, probably. So I hope you get them to you for Christmas. All right, very good. Do you have any food needs? I can fix that too. My biggest problem is I just didn't have even a place to cook or clean. I have running water here, but I did set up a table. I did finally in my little tiny home. I finally got the siding on. I put a coffee maker on it, so I won't have to buy so much coffee. I'm going to try it, and I put a little microwave in there, and I'm going to try to get that little refrigerator or something set up so I can at least get a few things in the grocery store and not have to get everything out of Booger King or Wacko Bell. So, anyway, appreciate that, Judy. So, anyway, guys, that's kind of where we're at. So the bottom line is we do face a lot of trials. That's not over. But at least we're heading in a better direction. We've got better chances now than we've ever had before. Greg, do you need a freeze-dried meals with meat in them? There you go. That sounds good. That sounds good, Rodney. So, yeah, I need to return to my carnivore ways. I've been too far divergent because last 3 months I've just been running back and forth cross country, moving stuff, and I've not been able to follow my dietary practices, and I've gained some weight back because of that. So it's those size 34 pants are really tight now. I was actually wearing some 33s, so but now I'm getting back to 36s. And one time I wore 44s, kind of like my big nug, 40. But that ain't the kind of pants I need. I don't ever want to be that big again. I'm planning never to do that. So, in any event, guys, so I'll have to show, maybe do a video of the progress on the tiny home. And maybe I should just talk about van living. There's whole video channels do nothing but van life or something like that. I've been living out of this van. Me and this cat here. He's laying down. I keep having to put the camera and he moves. There he is. There's Freddy Cat. Is that Freddy Cat? Me and this cat are living in this little red van here. And we've been in here for a couple of weeks together. And I've lived in this van for quite a few weeks before that, even in Alabama, because I took out my bedroom and everything in it place there. So I've been living in this van for a little while. And I lived in Candy over here for several months here in the last year. So LL44 Nuggin Pants sounds like a Clint Eastwood. Yeah, go ahead. Make my day. Anyway, like my kitty. Yeah, y'all might remember him walking with me through the woods and some of my walks in the woods. I think he appeared in some of the Green Griggs videos in the woods walks. So now we'll be walking here amongst the giant broccoli plants. Yeah, well, the trees here are nowhere as tall as the ones in Alabama. Except unless you go up to the mountains. Now, all I got to do is just drive, 30 minutes and I'm in a big forest with tall pine trees. And I go the other way in 30 minutes and it's nothing higher than your ankles. So big diversity here in Arizona. Big diversity. Sorry guys, I'm kind of unstable holding the camera here with one hand. So if I'm shaking, my apologies. Anyway, I remember the kitty assistant to your walks. There you go. Yeah, I had two cats at the time. One of them kind of come up missing. So, anywho, old Freddy Cat here. He's the survivor, maybe because he was the Freddy Cat. Anyway, so here he is, guys. Petting and talking. He's looking down. There we are. Freddy Cat. Freddy Cat and I. So, I'm really more of a dog guy, but I got cats because I hate rats. A lot of rats out here. So, I'll give me some dogs. That's coming. White nose, yep. There's some dogs coming. I do like dogs. I could use something to bark around here as a warning. There's been a big dog a couple nights walking around my van when I was asleep at night. Really big dog, footprints like, huge footprints. I don't like rats, mice, or snakes. Well, I kind of like snakes because they eat rats. So that's a good thing about a snake, they'll eat rats. So there we are, guys. All right, we've been going nearly an hour. I covered the main thing I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, one other thing. Need to put this on some other channel to talk about. But this thing of drones. It's really coming out that there's been drones flying like for about a year over our U.S. military bases, our nuclear strategic bases, scads of drones in Europe and even here in the United States mainly. We've had these drones just fly and hover over B-52s, F-35s, F-15s. They're hovering over our aircraft, and even the more sinister, they go into the housing of like the officers and the enlisted people, the family housing area. It's just like a threat to the personnel. It's just a message that, hey, we're here, we see you, and you can't stop us. That's a very sobering thing. How come we can't stop these things from flying over our military bases? Could they attack, or these, they could do attack. There's been many different types of drones they've flown. It's not just one or two types, lots of them, different types. Surely they could also attack our military assets if we get into some other country. So they're really sending us a message that, hey, we're there, we're here, and we can take out your assets on the ground. So that's kind of scary. Wow, that's a big dog. Bet it's wild. I don't know if it's wild or not, Rodney. Don't know. There are ranches out here. There are people that's, other homesteaders, and some of them got dogs, and there's free-range cows here and free-range dogs too. I was driving down the road down below me here, and there was a whole herd of cattle right in the middle of the road. So, yeah, you see, man, for some reason I hear these cows are fat. They're finding plenty of water and food, even out here in the scrubby desert. These cows are all fat. Cats kill mice, dogs kill rats, cats kill snakes too. Yeah, actually, cats get snakes. Cats are Cats are a heck on snakes. I mean, the snake can't stand up to a cat fight. I mean, I've had kittens taking out snakes. It's just kitten come back in with snakes. Cat, you know what you're doing? But cat's reflexes are faster than a snake. Believe it or not. Cat's got real fast chat. Hey, Darnell, how you doing? Anyway, so anyway, guys. Yeah, we're going to call it a night here. We chatted here a good little bit. I appreciate everybody joining us. We got 50 in the house. That's pretty good. I've not been on this channel for a while for this late time. This channel doesn't get as many people as the Green Greg's channel. That's why I've been doing a few more videos over there. But you know, I don't want this channel to get demonetized like Galactic Greg's did. So I got to put some more content on here. Because I was hoping eventually move a lot of the content into this channel, a lot of the new stuff. And get Green Greg's back to more of its original content, somewhere down the road. Anyway, cows kill snakes too. Okay, Rodney, I wouldn't doubt that. Don't doubt that at all. I raised cattle when I was a kid. That's what we had. My chickens are great. That's right, Judy. Judy is quite the homesteader in Ohio. She's got a lot of big gardening and a lot of stuff there. So she's quite the homesteader. So, folks, I really appreciate everybody joining tonight. And you know, just keep up the faith and don't give up. Don't give up. I mean, just call, you know, things are heading in a better direction, or they appear that they can. If we don't wind up a full-blown World War III between now and the 20th of January, when the new POTUS is sworn in. But things are looking up, so there is hope. But there's also a lot to be worried about. So just be prepared. Keep your eyes wide open, head on the swivel, guys. Because a lot of the people who are unhappy with the way things turn out, they may be coming after other folks of the other side of the aisle. So keep your eyes open, guys. Appreciate everybody for being here. Thank you one and all for joining, for watching. Thank you, Michelle, for the super chat, and anybody else that sent super chats over through PayPal. I'll check that later. So I appreciate that. And thank you, mods, for all you do. To one and all, have a great night, and Greg out.